So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Quick and Slick Docusign training. This is just going to be a quick overview of how to send an envelope, is what they call them in Docusign. We send envelopes as opposed to just an individual document. You can actually put as many documents as you want into a single envelope and send it all at the same time. You can even include documents that you don't need signatures on, but you'd like the recipient to receive a copy of so that they have it as part of the digital package. So I've already signed into Docusign. So you have all set up your passwords for that. So you should be able to get into Docusign at any time, and you're more than welcome to also follow along on your own Docusign if you'd like. On this first page, this is the home screen. Please let me know if I need to increase the size if anybody can't see. I am on a laptop, so this is the home screen. This is where you can see, you will not see templates reports on your side. This is on the admin side only, so please do ignore those two tabs on my screen. But this is where you can see the basic information on what's going on. This is me. You can upload your own photograph so that a photograph will accompany your signature. You also can choose the signature that you'd like there. Please, I don't know who's talking, someone who's talking. Can you please mute if you're not muted? And then we'll go to Q&A in a minute here. I'll stop briefly every few. So you can actually change your profile picture, you can upload that so it accompanies the document, and your signature you change here. This is a quick snapshot of what you have going. If you have things that are requiring your action, things that are waiting on other people, things that are getting ready to expire, and things that are complete. If you want to just do a quick send a document, you would click the start button. This gives you this option of what you need to do. Now you actually, unlike Right Signature, you can actually sign the document within Docusign if you need to sign it as well as someone else. So if you're signing a document at the same time that your seller or buyer is signing a document, you can sign it within Docusign. So it gives you that option. This templates is not open yet. These things are not open yet. So your basic choices will be send an envelope or sign a document. You're going to send an envelope. That's what you would select. This gives you the action screen to prepare the document. This is where you would upload your document, whatever the document is that you want to upload. You would select the document. It's here. If you click view, you can actually view the document itself, so you can see that it's the one you wanted. You can upload more. You can upload as many documents as you want into this envelope. So questions so far?
Yes, can you repeat that? I lost my connection to the meeting and I came back in the middle of that. So where do you go to start an envelope?
So on this main screen, this gold button here says start. You would select that and then you would say send an envelope, the top option. That would open this screen, which allows you to upload the document. Now, in this case, upload is documents on your computer. If you wanted to send something from your cloud, you select get from cloud, and this gives you the options of the various digital cloud storage. So Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, if you store something elsewhere other than on your desktop.
Okay, so the default is it'll go to your computer to upload a document.
If you select upload. If you select get from cloud, it will select a cloud storage. So you have two options there. So you can either say upload or you get from the cloud. So wherever your document lives, that's what you're going to want to select. Okay. And then as I stated, you can click view. It'll actually let you see what the document is to make sure that you picked the right one, that you didn't accidentally click it because it was named the wrong thing, because I tend to name things the wrong thing sometimes. So once you have all the documents that you want in here, and they'll all appear here. If there's more than 4 or 5, they'll shrink down, you'll get more rows. You go down to the next part on the screen, which is where you're going to add who is the recipient of this envelope. Now, if you want to, you can add from your contacts. If you want to have more than one person, you can add a recipient. So it will allow you to add more than one person. If you want to set the signing order, because Shauna Cook needs to sign first, and then whoever's in this next box needs to sign second, then that is how that is. But if these are backwards, all you have to do is change these numbers and you can reorder the signing order in any way you want. And what'll happen is when you reorder the signing order, whoever, it'll automatically move the names around so that they're in the correct order. Then this right here where it says needs to sign, this also has options. This is needs to sign. If the person needs to sign it in person, say you need to get a wet signature from someone in another location, you can select in-person signer. Whoops. You can select in-person signer. You tell this asks you to who are you sending it to so that they can get the in-person to sign it as so you would put in the host of who's going to sign it. So say for example, you need someone to sign it in person in San Francisco and you're going to send it to Jack Chung so that he can meet with the person to sign it in person for you. That's what the host is.
So is DocuSign automatically storing the name and email address when you use it for the first
will,
time?
and it actually, DocuSign actually coordinates with Gmail. So it's going to know from your contact list, it will pull names from your contact list, from your email list for you. So if you've been emailing someone back and forth and now you want to send them some documentation, it'll automatically try to match that name for you. The other option is CC. So if the person just needs to receive a copy, then you would go ahead and says receive a copy.
Hey, Shauna, it's Fred. If I could just, what's the motivation for changing over to DocuSign?
They have
that may help me understand all this.
So I thought, well, we brought it up in the meeting before we made the decision to move. There were several factors, including the integration ability with the API to use it with Team Magic. The Right Signature didn't have that option. The cost for Right Signature continued to go up, and DocuSign was able to beat the cost with integration, and they also integrate with zip forms. So from the CAR website, we have the real estate package, which allows us to utilize zip forms as well, which will be opened up very soon for you guys. So instead of having to go to car.org to get a CAR or an air form, you'll be able to send a CAR or an air form directly from DocuSign. Does that answer your question? Fred?
Yeah, I was muted. Yes, thank you so much. Great.
You're welcome. So,
Sean, a question before
yes.
you move on.
Yes.
You said it would search our Gmail contacts for existing email, repetitious emails. Will it actually search our business team?
Yes, that's what it does. So it
Okay.
actually, because this is your business team email is the email that's attached to your account. So it's
Okay.
going to use your business team email. So
Perfect.
I've actually
Thank
sent
you.
stuff to my personal email, which is box number 2 from my business team emails. That's why it's in my contact list.
I see. Got it. Thank you.
So as you can see, you can choose the 3 options: sign in person, or to receive copy. Sorry, I'm not used to talking this much. My throat's dry. You can add as many recipients as you want as well. If you want to add a private message to just the individual, that's under customize. You can also add an access code if you want them to have to enter an access code. Now, the access code you would need to send to the signer separately. It would not send it through DocuSign. You would create the access code and say, hey, Shauna, here's your access code for the documents in DocuSign, so that you can actually put a password on it if you want. The private message would go just to this individual. It wouldn't actually be seen by all. So once you have all your recipients in, you can actually go down to this message. Now this message is for all. So unlike the customized message, this message accompanies the document to everyone who's on the list. Whatever you want it to put, you can put whatever. This is the default subject. You can change that and you can enter a message. At the bottom here, let me get this out of the way. I have this bar in my way. You can just, if it was a form that was already highlighted, you would get this send now, but because we need to go through and tag it now, you would click next. You also notice that there's a next at the top and bottom. There's also advanced options, which allows, if you want the recipient who's receiving it to be able to change responsibility. What that means is I sent it to Jack Chung. but Jack Chung is really not the one that needs to sign it. Don Baum needs to sign it. So Jack Chung would then change the responsibility to Don Baum, and then it would go to Don Baum for his signature. These are checked by default. You can uncheck them if you don't want the receiver to have that option. Also, you can have it set up to send automatic reminders. So if the person that is receiving it, tends to be forgetful, you can set that up, and you can set up the timing for the automatic reminders. You can also change the expiration. It's automatically defaulted to 120 days. And it tells you what the expiration date of the document is. You can change that if you need them to sign within 30 days or 15 days. You have the ability to set the expiration date and give the person a warning of 7 days before it's going to expire that this expiration is coming up. And then this is automatically checked by default, allowing people to view the document on their mobile device. It actually makes it mobile friendly so that you can actually view it on a iPad, iPhone, an Android, or some other mobile device.
They can touch, use
Yes.
a touch screen.
Yes, they can sign with their finger, a touch screen on their mobile device. Or
Okay. Yeah, last night on Right Signature, my client has problems with touch screen and Right Signature.
Yeah. So this allows them to be able to sign just like that with the tip of their finger, or their stylus, whatever whatever kind of device they have, so they can take care of that on the go. That is under advanced options. So then once you're done with all your options, your recipients, your messages, and everything, you would click next. That actually, in this case, ignore this. This is because this was a fillable form from Team Magic. I am actually going to delete the data because I want to show you how to actually tag the form. Okay. So now that you can see on the left side of the screen, these items, signature, initial, date sign, name, email, company, etc., those are all what we would consider an item to be tagged in the document. When you select the item, it'll actually appear, let's see, find one that has stuff to do. The actual items will appear, what to do will be appearing on this other window where it says documents over here. So if there's something to do, it'll appear there. So if you want to fill this out, if you want them to fill it out ahead of time, you would just select the item you want. I'm just going to show you how to do a signature, but if you select the item you want, you can see here how it is gray. That means your selection. And at the top of the form, you can see that this is Shauna Cook is who you're selecting for, the recipient. If you have more recipients, they'll actually all appear here in different colors with different colored boxes. When you, actually I can do that. Let's go back. Let's see, I can show you. So if, hold on one second, someone's making a lot of noise. Sorry about that, guys. So if you look in the drop down now, you can see that Shauna Cook is in yellow. Shauna Louise Cook, don't make fun of my middle name, is in blue. So when we're selecting for Shauna, the things that we want Shauna Cook to sign, you highlight it. You'll see now when you drag your mouse over into the document, you can actually see the yellow box. That is where they're going to sign. You just click it and it stays. Now that it's there, you see the box is highlighted in blue, and over here you can see that there's some formatting tools if you want to format it for whatever tool tips. There's just some formatting tools for that. If you want their name to be, then you can see that it'll actually do their full name. If you want their title, it'll actually pull their title. It is a required field. This is something you need to be aware of. Anything that's required, they will not be able to move through the document without filling it out. If you don't need it required, you can uncheck it. You notice the box changes color. It's now white instead of gold, which means that they have the option to fill it out, but they're not required to fill it out. Also, you can add, this form is not a good form to add this, but I will show you. So there's a couple of things here: text, checkbox, drop downs, radio buttons that you can add. A checkbox is just what it sounds like, the checkbox. This little plus, oh, it didn't help. This little plus allows you to add more checkboxes. These checkboxes are tied together. So you can see that there is a box around all of them.
Yeah.
This dotted line. That
They
means
can-
they're grouped.
They
Okay.
can be optional. They don't have to be required fields.
Yes, checkboxes are always optional, automatically optional, but you can format them over here by, there's different things. But if you go to validation, this is the important part. This says select at least, select at most, select exactly, or select a range. Those are your options for these checkboxes. And then you could actually tell it the number that you want, 1, 2, or 3. Since there's only 3 checkboxes, it's only going to have 3 options. If you had 10 checkboxes, there would be 10 in there. And you can say check at least, or at most, check exactly, or select a range. Drop down, you can put a drop down box in. When the drop down is here, this right now, the list is empty. Under the options, you would add options, and you can put as many options in that list that you want. So if you want them to choose a state, you want them to choose a number, then once you have that there, it automatically saves for you. Now in our drop downs, you can see that there's the options that we put in there. The radio button is always 2 to start. With the radio button, the difference between the radio button and the checkbox is a radio button, they can only select 1. They cannot select more than 1 option with the radio button. So if you want them just to be able to choose 1 or the other, or 1 of 3, etc., you would use a radio button. If you want them to be able to do more than 1 checkbox, then you use the checkbox. Does that make sense? Questions so far? I know it's a lot of stuff.
If they check a radio button, they can uncheck it if they
Yes.
check the wrong box. Okay.
Correct. So really quick too, I did this and I didn't mention it. Up here where it says recipient preview, anytime you're tagging a document, you can click that and it'll actually let you see what the recipient would get. So you can actually go through and see that the radio buttons work, the checkboxes work, your drop downs work. So you can double check all of that. And then once you're done looking at it, you just click this X and it'll take you back into tagging the document. You can
And,
delete these
this-
anytime you want to, if you like put one in the wrong place or you don't like what it looks like. It's just a matter of selecting delete.
Well, this sounds handy for making a template.
So as you may have missed the beginning, we will, right now what's happening is George is doing the integration with Team Magic forms. So the forms library in Team Magic is going to change. It's going to look different when it's all done. The list that you guys are so used to for all these years is not going to look like that anymore. And what's going to happen is he's actually creating the templates they'll work together. The forms, you'll actually send the form as a template from within Team Magic, and all these things will already be marked. Like on a seller buyer disclosure, all the boxes will already be there. You don't have to go through and create all of that. So we're in testing of that now. And once we're done testing it, then we'll let you guys test it. And then once you guys don't find any more bugs, we'll roll it out to everybody. It's going to be in the next couple of weeks that's going to be complete and hopefully rolled out live. So we're working quickly and as we can on it to get it all together. So, but that's why templates aren't open yet. But exactly, this will be a template in the terms of coming out of Team Magic. So, any other questions before I go over the rest of this? Okay. So when you add a text box, you can actually make it as big or as small as you want. One of the things I do recommend is if you have to have them fill out a lot of space, I would use the note box. The note box is much bigger. So if they're filling out, like, you don't have them filling out lines, if you want them to like write a paragraph, use this note box.
And if it turns out that the text box you did not make it big enough,
it'll actually increase
On
in
the other
size
side?
as they're typing. So it will.
Yeah.
So I usually try to make it look.
Size of the signature box.
What now? Signature box is down here. What about
Can you
it?
change the size? Do you need to change the size?
You can, but you don't have to. It will accommodate the signature.
Okay, good.
So the name box, the title box, and the date box will actually automatically fill in the date. It won't even ask them for the date. It'll fill in the date that they're completing the document. But essentially, initials, same thing. The date signed, it'll automatically, the date they complete it, it will automatically populate that date. The rest of this, you can add an attachment, you can add a note. If it needs approval from someone, you can add an approve button. So if someone needs to approve it after a signature, it'll get approved. I don't see this using that option, but it's there if you want it. So once all this is in, this is a really hokey looking document, but once everything is in, you've reviewed everything, you can actually save it and come back to working on it later if you want.
Save it where?
So under actions, you can click save and close and it'll just close it. It automatically will save as a draft for you.
Okay.
You don't have to save as you go along or anything, but if you just need to, you want to exit out of DocuSign, you've got something else suddenly that you have to take care of, save and close, leave, it'll close everything down for you.
Okay, and that's a save to your own,
Yeah.
to Cook's
To your-
account, nobody else.
Correct, correct. The only person that would have access to everybody's documents is me, because I'm the super admin, and I'm not going to go through your documents. I don't care what you're saying. So that's only the reason that I have access would be to change ownership. So for example, if someone left and we needed to keep, like when James Tahad passed away and we needed access to his documents, instead of having to figure out his right signature login and then go into his right signature and all that, we could just transfer the ownership to Jack Chung, and Jack could take a look at all of James's documents and assist with the closing. So that's the point of that. So once all of this is tagged, you're ready to rock and roll, click send. It's asking if I want fields for her. Oh, because we didn't add any fields. Hold on. Sorry, I apologize. If you want to add fields for the second person, you would go up to this drop down up here at the top, and click the second person. You notice now all of these have changed to blue. So that means everything you put in here will now be this blue color. So this will be the other signature page, you know, email addresses, same thing. It's just blue.
So you can send this document to an agent who can in turn forward it to his client.
Yeah, you can, if you send it to the agent can turn around and change the ownership to the client after he's reviewed it and send it on to the client.
Does that agent, can that agent edit anything on the document or?
No, they can
Yes.
only just,
Okay.
they can only just
So
change
the
the ownership.
originator, it's the originator who can make the changes.
Correct. That is correct. So then now we click send. It's going to say, hey, we're sending it. So now you notice this, it says, do you want to sign this document? Because I'm the sender and I also need to sign this document. It's going to say, hey, you want to sign it now before we finish? So you as an agent, if you need to sign it and you want to sign it, then it's going to automatically open up. So this is the same kind of screen that your client's going to see. So there's a start button. It's going to take me to the first item that I have to fill in. Click it, it's going to take me to the next one, my initials, my signature, my title, and then I click finish. There's a finish up at the top, there's a finish at the bottom. So it's not hard to find. So then it'll automatically take me back to what looks like the Manage tab. This looks like, if you notice, it looks kind of like an email box over here, inbox, sent, drafts. You can see here that it's waiting for others. You have the option to resend it, correct it. If you've discovered a mistake, you can go in and edit it, which DocuSign, or excuse me, Right Signature does not allow you to do. Once it's done, it's done. You can go in and correct it. You can void it. You can transfer the ownership here. You can export it as a CSV file if that's something you need. This will change when other people sign this document. So it's just waiting now for the other Shauna Cook to sign the document. If you go back to home, you'll also see that the snapshot says that there's one that's waiting for others. These are clickable. It'll take you back in here and you can see what's still waiting. You're like, oh, she's not doing it. I need to resend it again. Or I need to, you know, oh, I should probably correct this. It'll actually let you come in and make your changes and save your changes.
So if you can take out, if somebody hasn't signed it and you want that document, one of the parties, you can remove that party.
Yes, you can go in and edit all of it. You can make any of the changes you want, even though it's already been sent, and then it'll resend the corrected one, and it'll advise the recipients that it is a corrected document. So that's how you send an envelope. I'm sure there are lots of questions. So I'm happy to answer and show since we've got everything open. Questions?
What's
Yes.
the purpose of the access code?
So if you wanted to send something to someone and you're worried that maybe their secretary's checking or they don't check their emails themselves, that someone else, it's a group email, but you want to make sure that only Joe Smith is signing it or only Joe Smith is the one that can read the document, you would put the access code, email Joe Smith the access code. So then when it comes to the group box, Sally, the receptionist, can say, Joe, this is your document is here. If you want to come take a look at it. And that's why.
And also, when you're editing, you said it automatically updates, even if it was sent already.
So when you go in and if you're going to correct a document, you have to do the options, because there's an option to like disregard the changes. You see up here at the top, discard changes. So if you made a bunch of changes, you can see where it says correcting right here. This means you're correcting it. Since this person's already signed, you can't do any corrections to them. If I hadn't signed it yet, you could correct that as well. And then you would click next and go forward. So it will automatically save the changes. But if you don't want to save the changes, you've changed your mind, you would click discard changes. It'll cancel the correction mode and will not make any corrections to the document.
Last question. Also, when it's all signed, is it saved on your system?
It's saved in it's saved in the Docusign under complete. So if you see home, I'll show you an example. You can see that this one's complete. I have one that's completed. This is we hired the packager that's going to work in Sacramento, but work for everyone. His name is Jason. He's going to start in a couple of weeks. He's going to get trained, but I sent him his employment documents. So you can see that this is completed. This is it's all completed. This is the status. I can download it. I can print it. I can copy it. I can look at the history of it to see who signed it, when he signed it, and when I sent it. And all of that is under the Manage tab. So see on this, also on this menu on the side, there's action required, waiting for others, expiring, and completed. So any completed documents will appear there as well as under this Home tab of completed.
Shauna, how do you create a template?
You cannot. I've said this now like 15 times. Templates are not open for agents at this time. We're working on the integration with Team Magic that will
You said it
allow
15
you
times? I must have missed it 15 times. I'm sorry.
That's okay,
I'm
but
done.
I
Okay.
keep, well, no, but I've been asked twice in this meeting alone. Plus we've mentioned it a couple of times before. So templates are not available because they're not open to agents yet, because of the integration with Team Magic, that you'll be able to send a document that's already tagged from Team Magic Form Library. George is working on it now. We're going to be testing it. Once the testing is complete, we'll let you guys test it and look for bugs. Once you guys say it's ready to rock and roll, we'll roll it out live. So you'll actually be able to send directly from Team Magic. You won't have to log into Docusign. You'll be able to send it directly from Team Magic.
So it sounds like at some point down the road, an agent can make his or her own template, but with that, and then keep it private for that agent.
So templates are automatically private, unlike Right Signature, which just lists everybody and their grandmother see a template.
Yeah.
Templates are automatically, once they're open to you guys, they're automatically private. The only way that someone else can view your template is if you share it with them. And you can share a template with an individual, or you can share it with a group of individuals. Right now, so I actually have templates open because I'm the super admin. These two templates, offer an agreement and buy and seller disclosure, have been completed by me because George is using them for testing. So these two templates exist. If I want to share it, I would say share with users, and I can select everybody or one person and share it with whoever I want. But no one can see it unless it's shared with them. So these two exist, but the only people that can see them right now is George and myself. Make sense?
Yes.
So there's also the ability to create folders. I don't have any folders created, but like in Gmail and Outlook, you can actually create folders. So if you wanted folders for you send me in Salika's case, and you want to make sure that you stick all the documents for you send me into one place, you can make a you send me folder and stick everything, move everything that that woman has signed or you have signed by people into that folder. And so it's all in one place. You can make as many folders as you want. There's no limit. You can call them whatever you want. There's no naming issues and nobody can see them but yourself. If you want to share folders with someone, so say for example, you have a buyer for you send me and you want to share the some of the documents with the buyer's agent, Michael Hamilton, then you can make a shared folder and you and Michael can share what's in there for whatever reason you need to. So that is also here. So this is a test folder that we created when I went through the webinar. So you can actually put anything you want in here. It's shared with only the people you want to share this folder with. So if you want to share it with just, you know, as you can see, you can share it with one individual, two individuals, everybody. If you want to share it with everyone, you can select everyone. And that way you can share signed documentation across. You don't actually have to send it to someone. If they're on our business team, they can actually be shared within the Docusign portal, and you can actually say, hey, Michael, the documents are in the shared folder on Docusign for you send me. And he can go.
Get the documents back, they'll be PDF, right? They can
yes,
be
they're PDF. Yep, absolutely. So if we go back to manage and you want to see what the documents look like in the completed, you're going to download this. This is the options it gives you, all 5 files, just the PDFs or just the certificate. But if you want all 5, which includes the PDF and the certificate, and then you can say combine it into one file. Well, that's the PDFs. It'll only combine all the PDFs. It'll automatically download all 5 together, unless you only want. You can see here, this computer is on the old side, so it actually downloaded it as into a zip file. It's not going to do that for you guys, but for me it does. Computer's old, but you can see they're all PDFs. So it's going to extract it. So as you can see, this is the signature page. I just opened the summary, that's all. And it has the timestamps of who signed it, when he signed it, the little disclosure and stuff, or my Adobe that signed in on my laptop. So, but yeah, the downloads as PDFs. You can save it wherever you want to save it, if you want to save it onto your computer, but it does save it in the cloud on Docusign.
Shauna, how can I make a signature for myself? You just go MNICU, you just automatically
on this home page right here, where you have on the home, you click this, and it'll actually let you choose or create one. So the option is down here. It says create, or you can choose one of the existing ones that they've generated for you. What the key is, it doesn't matter what your signature looks like. It's this number at the bottom that is your real signature. The C9, E7F, that's actually your digital signature.
So your authentic image of your signature you can create. It's
yes,
under
the create.
You have to have a computer pen, something like that, to sign for it to.
I've never created one because I'm just happy accepting the one that's there. It doesn't bother me.
Yes.
So I honestly don't know, but we can find out.
You can draw. It's kind of doodling like a child, but like you can draw your own.
Or if you probably access,
pretty easy.
And if you access it on an iPad or an Android tablet or a phone or whatever, and you set it up when you're on the phone, you probably could use your finger too. So.
Trust me, this is much better than WriteSign. I've used DocuTools before, and it's amazing.
We were with Docusign several years ago before I went left to right signature, but because the cost had grown exponentially, and they should reduce their cost by quite a bit. So
I like it a lot better so far, and it looks like it is definitely going to be a bit easier than right signature. And I was paying for Adobe, So it's going to be ready at the end of the month, you said?
So you can actually use your right signature now. Everyone should activate your account if you haven't. Most people have. You can use it now, but the thing that isn't available are the templates. There's just no templates. So if you send anything now, you'll have to tag it yourself. But George is working on it, and we're hoping in the next week or two that it'll all be bug free and ready to go through Team Magic. So
I can fill out a form without using a business team form, and then upload it onto Docusign.
Correct.
To the client.
Yep, absolutely. So Docusign, in the paperwork that I sent you guys, like your little quick start guide, because Ian likes diagrams and pictures and everything. I also included a link to the Docusign University. You guys do have access to that with your login. So they have a lot of webinars that you can take. It gets into some advanced stuff, but there's no charge and it's on your own time. So feel free if you feel like you want to look at something, you have access to that. And if you have deeper questions that I can't answer, I do have access to our account rep. So I can, if I don't know, I can find out for you guys.
John, if I'm already a registered Docusign user, do I need to be setting up an account that's going to be specific to BTI to access all these features?
So if your other Docusign account is not on your business team email, then they're separate. So you would have to use your business team login to access the business team side of things.
Got it. Thank you.
As you can see, also we branded. So one of the things we actually, let me see. I really don't want to like using this, but one of the things we did do too is we branded the Docusign so that it actually will go when your clients get it, it actually has our logo on it, and it's actually business team colors. Ugh. I was gonna show you guys. The joy of not having to type a password. So ignore the rest of my emails, please. It's a personal box. As you can see in the email, when your client gets the document, it looks like this. It actually has the business team logo. It's our green and gold. The email would appear here. The information would appear here for, as you can see the photos here, my email address, anything that you wanted to say in your message to everyone, or if you send a personal message, it would appear here for the person that you sent it. And then your client would just click review document, and it's actually going to just open it up to allow them. They have to agree and click continue. And then again, it's just going to take them to where they need to sign and what they need to do.
The photo that you have, is that the one that you're currently using on Google that I'm like using, is that automatically go into Docusign, or you have to
upload it? Yeah. So what you would do in Docusign is you would click this and you would drag and drop your photo in here. There is some change. If you hover over the photo, because I already have one in there, if you haven't uploaded a photo and you hover over it, what it'll do is it'll tell you how big it can be. It'll give you the option when you upload the photo to change, like to recenter yourself or to crop out something that you don't like. So I don't have the option to upload your photo. If you want to use the same photo that's on your profile and business team, let me know and I can send it back to you and you can use it for Docusign if you'd like. But my photo is a photo from a Christmas party. So. Questions? I'm going to do this again at 1. So if you come up with more questions between now and 1, feel free to join at 1.
I got it. It's awesome. Thanks.
You're not required to join at 1, but you can come back at 1 if you want.
I'm good to go now.
Yeah. Okay, good.
If you want to see the meeting is recorded, where do we go to find your recording of it?
I'll have to share it, and once I share it, I'll send you guys a link.
Okay.
Please delete my prior comments because I'm SAG member. Pay a royalty on them. See ya.